everybody. Welcome back to some Greek this Tuesday. Yeah, is a Tuesday. No grammar lessons this time, just a few bits of vocab and sentences still. So I zoomed in a bit. Hey, Roz, how are you doing? Just to make this a little bit bigger, I got my notepad here. And I'll probably Google anything. I'm not clear what it is. Or actually DuckDuckGo, but that's neither here nor there. Um, Because it's not always clear because we're in plants, flowers, and trees. And they have a calyx here, but it's like, is that a plant or like a something else? I don't know because that's a term for a pot, and I don't know if they're talking about one thing or another. Just inform myself. I'm doing pretty well. It was a slow day at work, which has its good points because I didn't really have to do anything. But it's bad points because it was really boring. You just kind of stare at the computer like, come on, somebody has something for me to do. Uh, but such is life. I'll be very busy, I'm sure, starting tomorrow. So, more plants, flowers, and trees. All right, the stem is inserted after nouns of declension 3, where it differs from the nominative. What I think that means. Yeah, right? So we're talking about plants here. Be careful. What I think that means, uh, so third declension is the consonant declension. And so a lot of times, the root of the word looks a little bit more different in the nominative. So what do I mean by that? Let's find a good example. Um, oh, that's what it means. Oh, I was wondering, like, inserted? A weird way of describing what you do with endings. It's an instruction for their own vocab list that the stem is inserted here in parentheses after third declension nouns when it's different. So that's why it's got this orki here, or the aster, or the irid, or the kaluk here in parentheses, because this part is what you use for the rest of the cases. Nominative does something a little bit different. That makes a lot more sense. You ever have that where you just read a sentence and are like, I understand all these words, but I have no idea what they mean together? Just what your reference is. Over my head. Alright. So, anyway, let's go and look at the vocab. So the akakia Greek. I'm just gonna pull up the old, like I said, the old DuckDuckGo. Try and find good images for these because I don't really know what they look like because I'm not a flower person. So this is what acacia looks like. And I don't even know in English if we pronounce it akakia or acacia, but I would guess we pronounce it acacia English. Uh, I'm looking it up on Wikipedia, obviously. I'll just go ahead and pull this over so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, it's from the acacia. Sure. Uh, where does it thought it usually had the pronunciation like right up front. Don't see it there. Acacia. Okay, yeah, acacia would make sense too. This is one reason why Greek is a great language. There's no question on how you're supposed to pronounce that. Acacia. I've seen the word so much, but no idea. Even in Chrono Cross, the Acacia Dragoons. I think that's how they pronounce it, but I'm probably always said it wrong. So we're just gonna go with that. Go with the Roz pronunciation or Akakia, which sounds a lot less pretty. Yeah, my cats are here today. They were really excited because it was sunny and it got into the upper 30s, which is like just above freezing. So the birds and the squirrels were running around in the backyard, so the cats were just super into it today, which is nice. People say that about your sentences that we understand all the words, but we don't know what you. I actually do say that about you all the time, don't I? I think you're making a joke, but I don't get it. You're just too smart for me. But that's okay. That's why I like hanging out with you and learn things. All right, kaulos, a stalk. Okay, easy. Like cauliflower, which I guess means flower stalk, which I didn't know. Are too dumb for you? That's also possible. I highly doubt that. How about we're differently brilliant? It's just like divergent brilliancies. Nardos, okay, spikenard, okay, that's very biblical. Get that all the time. Myrtos, myrtle, okay, it's tree. We're good. Uh, Amaranthos, amaranth. Okay, I've heard of that flower. Usually, if people don't understand what I said, it's not because I said something very, very smart. It's usually because I said something very, very dumb with a terrible pun in it. That does sound like you. Aron, Aram. I don't know what that one is. So, Aram. Well, that's pretty. I have really nothing else to say about it. They are not closely related to true lilies, but they are called that. Pretty. All parts of this plant are poisonous. Heh. It kind of looks poisonous. Yeah. Just because it's so dark, it almost has like a foreboding in it. Uh, Petroselenon. Petroselenon. Parsley. You know what's interesting is I thought I remember the Greek word selenon being some sort of, small green. And Peter means rock. We know that. Petros. It's like a rock selenon. But now I can't remember what selenon means. Celery, maybe? And parsley is a rock celery? Could it be? Fake etymology with Interceptor. Greek words are made up. Nobody knows. Orchis. I bet that's an orchid. Because you're gonna probably see a delta in some later forms. Wonder why they didn't write orchid form. It's an old textbook. Maybe they used to be called orchises. Auster. I thought that meant a star. Okay. It may refer to. The word has a lot of things. I guess. A genus of flowering plants. All right, there we go. They don't look like stars to me, but they're cute. Kind of like a little daisy. Orchis is apparently the genus that contains orchids. Oh. Is there any connection between mirtos and the Spanish muertos? I can't think of any reason why those would be combined. I don't think myrtle's known for being deadly. And Myrtos is going to be related to mors, mortis in the Latin. And Greek has a totally different word for death, thanatos and thane. So I don't think Myrtos, Myrtos and mors are going to be at all related. So probably Myrtos and those aren't going to be related. So yes, I think they are false friends, as my Spanish teacher always called them. Iris and Iris, okay, checks out. Calux, a calyx, which was one of the words I had a question for because there are different meanings of that. That was not helpful, Wikipedia. This is also not helpful. I guess I should spell it with a C like they want me to. Maybe that will help. Uh, Meaning husk or pod. Oh, okay. Okay. Ala means but. Got it. Kai kai, both and. Te kai also means both and. Because te and kai both mean and. Um, te is a cognate of the Latin que, and they work the same. They go after the word that you would expect it to go before. And kai is the equivalent of the Latin et, but it's not a cognate the way that te and que are. Those are the same word. Looks up Wikipedia on false friend and false cognate and learns that they're not actually the same. Well, I said my Spanish teacher called it that. To be fair, that doesn't necessarily mean that was a technical term. The only other thing I remember her saying are silencio por favor. So, right. Te must not be the first word in a clause, right? Because it's a word that follows other words. That has a technical term that I'm completely blanking on right now. So they give here an example: hote crocus kai tauroron, the crocus and the roots. So in this case, they had to put the conjunction after the article, which normally, why would you separate the article and the noun? I mean, I guess you do it with adjectives sometimes, but don't worry about that. Point being, te can't go first. And here, krokoi te kai roga, crocuses, and roses. Both crocuses and roses, I guess we should say. In this case, I think false friend is correct. Okay, so what does false cognate mean? I have more questions now. Alright, so let's read some sentences, and I'll pronounce the Greek to the best of my ability and the English to the best of my ability, and I promise nothing. I guess I should scroll up so we can get most of the vocab. Oh, I skipped Paionios, which is is that like a peony, like state flower of my homeland peony? I'm gonna guess so. I don't know what that has to do with healing. They're really stretching the old English mind here. But maybe when he wrote this book, people knew more flowers than I do. Hey, Akakia uk esti microdendron. The acacia is not a small tree. Very true. I think they were using dendron to mean something else though earlier. What were they using dendron for? Oh, a tree. Okay. False friend is where two things look to sound the same but have very different meanings. Okay. They can actually be cognates. A false cognate is where they come from completely different origins, although in theory they might end up having similar meanings. Oh, that's curious. I'm not sure. I didn't know that. But I can definitely see the difference. Because words do kind of change meaning over time, and if two words kind of sound similar, then they might end up getting used for the same thing, even though they're different. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, now we know that. Hai myrtoi micradendra alacala. So the myrtles. So you'll notice here myrtles has an OI ending because it is the Omicron second declension, but it is feminine, so it uses high as its article. They don't look the same, but they match. So the myrtles are small trees, but beautiful. Very nice. Orchies te kai irides kai asteres ejusi alujas. Orchids, and I guess we should say both orchids and irises and asters have pods. Pretend I understand flowers enough. If that makes sense. This is a good place to note the Te Kai Kai. Goodness. It is a lot warmer today, but the air is still very dry. Alright, so Greek uses lots of ands. Just so many. Many more than we would ever use in English. So yes, you can literally say and this and this and this and this and this. We would not in English, in a good English translation, but just so you see, there's three ands in this sentence with three subjects. Alright. Echo kalus petrosellino te kai aron kai nardu. I have kalus, which is stocks. I have stocks of, so this omega nu is a genitive, plural, genitive, plural, and then the omicron upsilon is genitive singular. So that means you use the preposition of, generally speaking. We're going to simplify it because it's section 3. And so I have stocks of parsleys, as the Greek would literally say, and irons, ara, however you translate the plural of that in English, and nard, spikenard, which apparently doesn't have a plural in Greek. Hey, True Grit, how you doing? Do you mean 3 different ands or 3 of the same and? I mean, so it's using 3 ands. I think there's only 2 types of and, technically? Um, but we haven't gotten to particles yet, and a lot of times particles you might translate as and, even though they're not linguistically a conjunction. like and. I just mean they use a large quantity of ands. Yes. They do also have two ands, which might seem unnecessary, but it's how they do in antiquity, because again Latin does the same thing. They have two ands at minimum. Presume that would be parsley plants, which is a viable plural in English, right? But again, it's just one of those differences between the languages. We would use the English. We would use English. Usually, when I'm speaking English, I use the English. What I meant was, uh, usually in English, we just use a singular noun to refer to a whole. But Greek clearly is not. Okay, cool. So their and is used between all elements in a list rather than just being a joiner. That's a way to think of it. Yeah. They they will pile on the ands. Absolutely. Because again, we see that here. We have a te, kai, kai. 3 items, 3 ands. In English, we would just have one. Maybe 2. But definitely not 3. Right. Pelusi ton kaulon tu asparagu. Asparagus. Wish Punch liked asparagus. I need to cook that more. Alright, anyway. They love the stalk of the asparagus. As do I. So, how did I know to translate it that way? And not they love the asparagus of the stalk? Because it's new here, new at the end of ton calon, tells me that that's the accusative, so it's going to be the direct object of the verb. And the u at the end of tu asfaragu tells me it's going to be the genitive, so it's going to be of. That depends on whether you have a stock of the garnished parsley, in which case it's not a plural. You have a stock of potted parsley plants. Plural. This is complicated. That is a good point. Um, I have many. Yeah, because now I'm kind of like doubting myself. Could you say that? I have stalks of parsleys. It is very situational and can vary on the exact detail. Right? I have a lot of chocolates. And you would say I have a lot of chocolates near me if you have like little tiny individual chocolate pieces all over. Whereas if you had a giant pile of chocolate, you'd probably just say, I have a lot of chocolate. At least that's how I imagine it. Pile of chocolate. Make it so. Anyway. Uh, English is weird. Right? Pile of chocolates. But ha pelargos ente akakiai esti. Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to pronounce the subscript iota there. That tiny I under the alpha. Not supposed to pronounce it. All right, so the pelican, was that Pelargos? Pelargos. I know we had it last time. A stork. Okay, close enough. The stork is in the acacia. Right, just hanging out among the reeds, but not reeds, acacia. Ufele ton kalon tu pu. Not pistu. That'd be a different word. Pisu. Uh, he doesn't like. Maybe she. We don't know. We don't have a subject here. Some singular person in the acacia. So in there. But in could mean among, on. Okay. Okay. That's right. I forgot acacia was a tree. On the acacia. In plus dative, just make it mean what it needs to mean. Uh, let's say on. That that should make us happier. He I could also understand being in an acacia forest or something. True. True. Uh, and it would probably not in this case be among the acacia trees because acacia itself is singular. You'd probably have the plural dative if it was among acacia. Right. He doesn't love the stalk of the Pisos. What was Pisos? Pisos? Pea is. He doesn't like the pea stalk. Green beans? I guess. Kai heiris, kai anemone, kai ho orchis kaloi. So again, we've got three ands for three subjects. Maybe he's betting in currency. All right. So the iris and the anemone and the orchid are beautiful. There's no verb here. We just supply to be. And this Omicron iota tells us that this is a nominative plural. So all these things are beautiful. Now, two of the subjects are feminine, one of the subjects is masculine. This is masculine. Well, yeah, this is a masculine adjective ending. In Greek, usually they'll take the gender from whatever noun is closest. So the adjective is right next to the masculine noun, so it's going to decide to be masculine. Easy peasy, right? Plants, flowers, and trees. Aloe. 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 Now I can't say it in English, even though. Aloe. Aloe. That's how we say it. Daphne. The Daphne tree. Yep. That one I know. Citron. The citron. Is that citrus or is that something else? Citron. It is, in fact, some sort of citrus fruit with a thick rind. It looks like a really bumpy lemon. That means that upgrading from the X and the Y or whatever to the X and the Y and the Z or whatever might change the form of the whatever. Yeah, yeah. It's fine. They're fine. But yeah, if Orcus wasn't there, it would be Kalai instead of Kaloi. Kistos is the kistis. Is that also like a citron? Oh, no, it's just a pretty flower. Pretty flower. Aconite, aconiton, leopard's bane. I know that one. It's poison. Antirrhinon, a snapdragon. Oh. Delphinion, a larkspur. Centaurion, a centauri, which I'm guessing is also a type of flower that looks like a centaur. If only. Just a flower. Doesn't look like a horse at all. Yep. It's a poison. That's what it is. Uh, Cuclamis, Cyclamen, Clematis, uh, Dictamnon, Dittany. These are all really fun flower names. I don't know what any of them look like, but they're definitely flower names. Corday means a maiden, girl. Opsis is sight, full face. Okay, yeah. What's visible? So why are we... I guess we just wanted to introduce something that could be a subject. Because I don't know if anybody in English knows Coreopsis, but if you do, good on you. A hedus, hedu, hedea, sweet. And that is a third declension adjective. I don't know why they did masculine, neuter, feminine, though. Now my brain hurts. I'm used to adjectives going in masculine, feminine, neuter order. And a hedonist is somebody who likes pleasure, who likes sweet things. Alright. Nouns ending in is and us. Okay. Whose stem ends in e. Okay. Have omicron, omega sigma in the genitive singular instead of omicron sigma. Okay. Yeah, sure. Stands to reason. It just has to do with the vowel quantity stick thing. Alright. So takitra calamela esti. The Kitra lemons. I'm just gonna call it lemons. Alright. The Kitra are beautiful fruit. Hai te daphne kai hai clematides micradendra. So again, we have two ants for two subjects. The laurel trees and the clemates. Oh, clemates are small trees. Micradendra. He corde file kai antirina kai delphinia. The girl, I knew it. They just introduced it because they wanted a subject. The girl loves both antirina, snapdragons, and larkspurs. Nice. Oikistoi mikroi alakaloi e opse. The kisti are small but beautiful to the in appearance. There we go. I think we're supposed to use it as a dative of aspect. I might have just made up that one, but something like that. It's not really an accusative of respect because I would use accusative. But that's what we're gonna do with it. They're beautiful in appearance. It makes more sense than to the appearance. I interested a girl just to be a subject. That would be a weird horticultural lab. Okay. Tate dictamna kai ta heliotropia hedea esti. Both the dictamna, dittanies, and the sunflowers, heliotropes, are sweet. Cute. Hedu to te ion, kai to aron estin, al uke aloe. Right? Both the... I'm doing the thing that I said I always do. It's not ivory. Violet. Both the violet and the arum are sweet, but not the aloe. Now you might say hedu um, is singular, but it's going with two nouns. And didn't we just say that, you know, in this one changed gender, but it was still plural? But these are neuter. These are neuter words. So it's in part that it's neuter, and in part, um, again, Greek ending logic, the adjective might only modify the noun that's closest to it. So not only did it only take the gender from the nearest noun, but it only took the number from the nearest noun. That's fine. Fine. Entois dendrois asimicroi orchies. Among the trees are small orchids. Very nice. Logic. Exactly. It works for them. And it's so funny because Greek, in some ways, can be so precise. Um, but that probably worked to its disadvantage among native speakers. Like, it was so precise that they couldn't even keep everything straight. So they did what sounded good. This is what happened. He kane esti dendron uhehe peleta. The kane reed. Reed is not a tree. It does not have leaves. That's how they're translating petala. Okay, acceptable. Plants, flowers, and trees, some more. Athanasia. Interesting, because it's like the deathless flower. Apparently, it's a tansy. Agaricon. A toadstool. Cannabis. Hemp. Get your minds out of the gutter. No. Poluanthes. Much flowering. So this is another adjective. That comes from it's a compound adjective, so two different words come together to make an adjective. Polu meaning much, and anthes meaning flower, so much flower. This is why most language invented in the last few decades have been given simple grammars that build on each other recursively. It's much easier than having rules about changing forms of words. So true. Tansy is apparently perennial. Oh yeah, deathless does work. Pur is fire. Aethra, clear light. Helios, the sun. Anthos, a flower. Eucalyptus. Oh, eucalyptus. I know that word. Euonymous. I don't know that one. Of good name. It's an adjective. That means well named. I don't think it has anything to do with flowers, but okay. Salpinx. Salpinx. It's a trumpet. Oh, okay. Glossa is a tongue. Can also mean a language. Kion, snow. Doxa, glory, opinion, appearance, opinion. Something that seems good or right. It's all kind of tied together. Hudor, water. We're getting way out of plants, but these are useful words. Angeon, pitcher. Ude, neither nor. Kachos, aeon, evil. All right, we're going to get some interesting sentences here. Let's see. Udehe Athanasia udehe cannabis idea esti. Neither the what's the name of it now? Tansy. Neither the tansy nor hemp are sweet. Do not eat them. Yeah, that's why it lists here immortel, which is just so cute. I don't know if that's the French, because there's a note about the French. No, I guess the French is the Tennessee. But immortel sounds very French too, right? Hake? I kind of overdid the breath there. That's not a key, that's just a kappa. Kake he upsis ton agarikon. The site of agaricos toadstools. The site of the toadstools is evil. So probably like they're not good to look at, not that toadstools can see. Because that'd be a weird sentence. In lieu, oh, sorry. I met the term in Hayden Hall, and it was in a long section of flower references, so it shouldn't have been a surprise. In lieu of the lily and bonny bluebell, we lay on thine altar true love's immortelles. That's very lovely. Right. Again, no verb to be here. That's fine because we have a subject, we have an adjective that can modify the subject, and we have the genitive plural, so we know that it's the site of the toadstools. Echion Calais Estin al ufile toper de ton helion. The snow is beautiful, but it doesn't love. I'm guessing because there's no new subject to take over, that the subject remains snow. Uh, so, but it, snow, does not love fire nor the sun because it melts. Okay, I can't argue with that. Cat was getting in the pantry to yell at him. Ta anthea phile, thein eithron tu heliu. So the flowers love the light of the sun. That is very true. Your new permafrost. So the verb here is singular because the plural is usi. The subject ta is plural. So normally that would be very sad to have a plural subject with a singular verb. But again, ta anthea is neuter plural, and neuters don't need a plural verb. Neuters just take a singular verb because. So the flowers love the accusative of the genitive. Polu anthes torhodon alhe aloe u. The rose is much blooming, but the aloe is not. Very good. So again, neither has a verb to be. That's fine. You just put one in each clause to balance it out like an equation. Fine. Yeah, poluantes. It's very nice. Right. Tohudor entoi angeoi kaludon esti. The water in the vessel is well hidden because the vessel is closed. Weird sentence, but seems true. Pantata anthema file hudor. All the flowers love water. So true. Sense. Technically, you could maybe argue that to read the sentence in reverse, the water loves all the flowers. But we're not going to because Hudor does not have an article. They did not include ta, the Hudor. So the noun with the article, we're going to make it the subject. Makes more sense. Hedoxa tescaques glosses micra esti. The reputation of the evil tongue is small. I feel like that's an idiom. Like someone with a wicked tongue has a small reputation. Maybe we should use. I don't remember what I use with doxa now, but let's use maybe reputation. Yes, I think that makes sense. It's a little enigmatic, but okay. Um, Especially like using Mikra to small for the reputation. It's a little out there, but okay, it's fine. Oh, animals. Okay, let's do one more section just because it's animals. And get us started on animal life. Yes, animal. This was my research. All right, not so much on the Greek side though. Kata, cat. We're on board now. Moose, mouse, not moose. One trick there that could confuse you, but I don't think the Greeks had any moose. So, mouse it is. Leon, lion. Yep, yep. Tigris, tiger. Happy. Panther, panther. Lynx, lynx. Elephas, elephant. Camelos, camel. Rhinoceros, rhinoceros. Don't you just love they're all Greek? Ugh. Oh, moose. It's from Latin, not Greek, but close enough. I think moose is the Latin word for mouse. I'm blanking on what it is if I ever knew it, but hippopotamus, hippopotamus, crocodilos, crocodile, megas, megale, mega, big, giant, great, therion, wild beast, agrios, fierce or wild, onos, donkey, keep this PG. All right. Most nouns ending in isus take new in the accusative instead of alpha. I like how sometimes I'm using the Latin pronunciation for the letters and sometimes the Greek. Classic. Um, yes, that makes sense. And since we're not even really focusing that much on how to form endings, we won't. Popular word, at least in later Greek. Set a footnote for something we haven't seen yet? Oh, kata. Popular word in later Greek. Ailuros is the one I'm more familiar with, tail waver, which is way more cute, but yeah. Since we're doing Greek through English, we'll use kata. A mouse of a mouse to a mouse, oh mouse. Alice learned that sentence by reading her brother's Latin grammar. How cute. I like it. Hekale kata eche mikron mun. The beautiful cat is a tiny mouse. They are tail wavers, like they're big into that. So the name makes total sense. Um, I've told you, I mean, you probably know because you play all these Alice games and have a general interest in Alice, the classical connection there. Agria theria ho leontes kai hai tigries. Um, so again, because these nouns have the article, we're going to translate them first. The lions and the tigers are how that uh, fierce wild animals. Classical connection with the old mouse things or tail wavers? Oh, like Alice Little's, like the historical connection. Okay. Megaloi ho elefantes kai hai cameloi. Yeah. But I mean like Alice Little and the Little and Scott Dictionary, which is still the standard for Greek dictionaries. Yeah. Okay. It's just so fun. Megaloi hai elefantes kai hoi cameloi. All right. So again, these have the articles, so we're going to translate them first. The elephants and the camels are giant. Yes, they are. O crocodilos kai ho ha. I should really be saying because it's Omicron. Ha. Ha hippopotamus. Belusi to hudor. The crocodile and the hippopotamus love water too. Now you see here they do have the article with the object here. So it is not a hard and fast like, oh, it has the article, it must be the subject. No, no, no. So don't. I'm just using that with a few examples to make the English sound good. O onos ude ton pantera ude ton ga. So the donkey does not love the panther nor the lynx because it gets eaten. Yes, exactly. Alright. Hai kata uk AC megala al hoi mues AC mui. The cats are not big, but the mice are small. So true. And that is why our cats like to eat them. Ha elephas u file ten agrian tigrida. The elephant does not love the wild tiger. Again, dinner. The panther and the lynx love the donkey, though. Very true. Ha leon eche ton agrion onon. The lion does not have the wild donkey. So here, just like in the first sentence with the cat has the mouse, eche is being used in a holding down, eating kind of image. It seems a little bit weird without that additional context. So, very good. The cats aren't big, but the mice are small. That plot basically sums up the plot of Disney's Cinderella. It really do. Right. All right. So next week, I've got a meeting on Tuesday. So no stream. On the 25th, I'm debating. I have a demo from Austin that I want to play. So I might do a special Sunday stream this weekend or next weekend. Maybe this weekend, because then it's like almost a week, so we get a little fun stream in my off week. So maybe on Sunday. Or sometime that weekend, I'll check with him what works better. And then on the 25th, probably get back to the animal life. Animal life. The animals are the best part of anything. Oh, and then we'll get to people. So, alright. Slowly but surely, we're making our way through. Get back to where I was. There we go. Okay. Calendar it ahead of time and I'll be there. Alright. I will remember to add it to the Google Calendar when I decide when to have it. And if you are awake, I would love to see you there. Otherwise, have a great week and be warm or cool depending on where your temperature is. It's so cold here, it's probably quite warm there. And yeah, have a great day.